Welcome to this look at a new mod map on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. This is Agroland. This is a new mod map out by AGROCAIPIRA. This is set in Mato Grosso do Sul in Brazil. Central West Brazil, bordering Paraguay and Bolivia, is where the state of Mato Grosso do Sul is. The map looks like this. On a new farmer, we start with plot 1 with field 1 on it, plot 2 with field 2 on it, and the main farm area. Field prices, I have to say, are pretty good across the board. There are a couple of plots we're going to need to buy that have got some other animals on. That one's 125 grand, 407. I mean, even the biggest, I say the biggest fields, the biggest plots, 369 grand, 428. They're not massively expensive. Got a bit of forestry here and there, plantation type forestry. And up the top here, all of the plots that have got production chains or sell points on, all can be purchased. There's a couple of little bits here you can't buy, and along the river and the verges, periphery around the outside of the map, you can't buy, but everything else you can. It doesn't say anything about collectibles on the map. And I've checked in the menu, it doesn't say anything. I haven't found any or anything like that. Contracts are available. There's a custom crop been added in. We've got pinto beans have been added in here. If we go into our menu and down to our tools and machinery, if we look on the bottom there at crop types, seeders will do pinto beans on the end there, as will planters. So seeders or planters for pinto beans. When you come to harvest them, a regular header for your pinto beans, not a corn header, just a regular header to harvest your pinto beans. So they've been added in as well. As far as mods go, there's nothing added in for vehicles. There are no required mods on this map. And if we go into our build mode, I think under what did I say, farmhouses, we've got a couple there put in, and then under what was the next one? Oh, under production and factories, we have got a line production. So it's not just a debris crusher, that is a production that will produce lime for you. Nothing under animals, and then I think under landscaping. Under painting textures, we've got some of the red dirt textures, the sort of things you'd expect for a Brazilian map. Under plants, we've got a meadow grass texture out on the end under plants. That's it for mods, which is quite handy. Slot count on new farm is 1,415. On farm manager and start from scratch, it's 1,146. You don't start with any of the vehicles and machinery. You don't start with any of the buildings here at the main farm. The farms that we're going to go to as we go around the map, you don't have any of the sheds, but all of the animal pens are there, excluding the chickens here, weirdly. There's a cow pasture we can have a look at that's still here, but the chickens aren't. So no machinery, no equipment, no buildings here, no chicken pen, but the cow pen is here. So let's get round and have a look. I will say this, animal noises, the animal noises sound effects are brilliant and kind of match the environment as you might expect. At points, they're quite loud. So just to be aware of that, you can see our cockerel whizzing around. He whizzes up into the yard. So our chickens, we've got 120 out of 120. Dialogue box is there, egg pallet spawn here, feed trough is here, and they have got a little bit of feed in. They're all amongst the grass here somewhere. Yeah, you can just see them wandering around. As we move down to harvester, it's just over by the field, good to go. Harvester with header, the header trailer is just here. We've got our seeder there, and just over the, see what I mean about the animal noises? We've got a silage clamp, just on the bottom there. If we come across the yard, we've got a farmer 400 silo. Standard crop type, 400,000 litres. We've got a weight sat there. It's a New Holland farm, as you can probably tell. Sleep trigger and wardrobe trigger is just here. We have got some other equipment and machinery kind of around the map in other places, again, which we'll get to later on. So sleep trigger and wardrobe trigger just there. New Holland there, and over this side we've got our grasswork equipment. So we've got our windrower, tedder, baler, bale trailer and mower. I think that's pretty much all the equipment. And then we've got our trailer just here with another New Holland. And we've got our foraging, well, silaging, corn silaging set up just here. But we are going to grab this tractor to head around the map. For the start, at least. The lighting, colour palette, texture palette on here is great. I like the sweep of the map. It's nicely designed. There is a railway line on here as well, train line, which we'll get to in a moment as well. The cow pasture is just here. This will do 250 cows. We have got a cattle grid, so I don't think I couldn't get the gates to open or close. I think they're permanently open. But then they can't get out here anyway because of the cattle grid. And like I said, because it's a pasture, it will require water. We've got a water our feed trigger, milk and slurry, and bedding trigger just over the side there. There's a nice mix of stuff, obviously, for the area. We've got a lot of corn, a lot of sugarcane. There you go, there goes the train now. We're going to just head south, cross over the railway line, because directly south of us here, we've got the next of the farms that needs to be purchased for the triggers to appear. This is the sheep farm. Plot 48 is where we're at. Now, as I said, when you go onto a farm manager or start from scratch, this shed isn't here, but the sheep pen is. But nice flat area, again, for placeable silos, that kind of stuff. It's kind of pre-done for you. But what I'm going to do now is just borrow some money from the bank, so if you bear with me just a moment, that should be right. If we go to our map, so we come from the main farm just here. Water is available. There's a lake just by the farm. I meant to turn around and show you that. There's a little sort of causeway across the middle of that, and the river, you can get water from there. But I always say this, in the mod hub there are so many different wells and stand pipes and pumps and different things for getting water. That's not too much of an issue like it used to be. But plot 48, 122,768. If we buy that, you'll see that our sheep trigger now comes up, or shows up on the map. Sheep here, 60. Again, a pasture, so they are going to require water. Wool, I think, spawns in there. You can't get into this building. It's just here. I did try, because I thought once I bought the land maybe we can get into it, but you can't get into that barn. And we'll whiz back around. Now we're going to head out to the east first, and then back across to the west, because there's a couple of points either side of the map. Then we're going to head up the map north towards the town. I was asked the other day, who asked me? It might have been Sergio, I think it was, messaged me to ask why I don't play on Brazilian maps. It's not that I don't play on Brazilian maps, I just haven't done a Let's Play on one yet. There are some absolutely fantastic Brazilian maps out there, and it's one of those ones you go around and every time I do a map tour I think, oh, that'd be really cool. Yeah, I'm not too sure why I haven't actually. Normally there's different crop types and stuff on there, with like black beans, pinto beans, and you know, you have various different ones in there. More heavy on sugarcane, which I don't do very often either, which I suppose, yeah, could do. So heading out east. Once you have bought the plots of land, you can remove all the animal pens, and you can remove all the sheds and buildings. When you remove the animal pens, the fences go as well. But if you like the animal pens that are there, obviously they're not in the build mode. So you'd have to place down either a standard in-game one or a modded one if you want to put something different in there. We're just going to take a quick detour down here to a little quarry in the corner. This is where the debris crusher is, or sorry, lime production that's been put in. Now as you can see, we've got the plot of land. We don't own the plot of land, and we've got stone all around it as well. So we've got a big pile of lime, we've got stone all around, and we've got the production. The production isn't expensive to buy. So if we buy the production for 4,000, it's a 1-to-1. Just requires stone, no water. So stone in, lime out, 1-to-1. If we go to the map, we've zoomed all that here to here. This plot of land here is 86,096. If we buy that plot of land, which takes in that field there and all this bit here as well, we then own this, which means we can access the stone to put in here, and we can add to our lime pile. We also get the lime as well, so there's plenty here to be getting on with. You wouldn't have to worry for quite some time. Get yourself a big old wheel loader down here, or excavator, whatever you want, and just start cracking away at it. which would work really well. So, back in the tractor, down to the railway line. Now the railway line doesn't have a town or a place it goes to, it just says cooperative train. It heads from west to east, so it goes out of the map that way. If we just swing around here, we've got a railroad silo, transfer silo. Now this one is, I always say it takes the regular things that a transfer silo takes, the railroad. Main crop types, sugarcane, potato, sugar beets, wood chips, seed. This one also takes the pinto beans that have been added in. So you can either store them in the silo, or you can transfer them, put them in here, put them into the train, or from the train into the silo onto a vehicle. It's a transfer silo, that's the point of it. We've got 2 rent train points here, doesn't matter which one you go for. For your rent train, oh, it's arriving fairly soon anyway. It comes from that way, and we'll go out off the map that way. So if you get a contract, there are 60, I'm sure it says 60 purchasable fields, of which 38 have missions on them. So you might get a mission come up saying that it wants you to sell a cooperative train, which means off you go. That's not a bale storage or anything like that, it's just a storage shed. Not you necessarily need to see the train, it's, you know, but it gives you an idea of the amount of carriages you've got on it. So we have got, say, fairly standard storage ones, and I think we have got a logging one on the back as well. Flatbed at the back. And this doesn't say it's Platinum Expansion compatible. When I did my whiz around the map, I did have Platinum Edition expansion selected to check for the sawmill. It doesn't say anywhere about taking wood containers, but that's not to say you can't put wood containers on if you want to sell. Actually, let's double check that. Can we sell wood to, where are you? Wood, biomass, carpentry and timber, Mr. Woods? No, there's no sell point for wood out at cooperative train, so it wouldn't matter even if you could put a wood container on there. So I'm now going to whiz back the way we came. We're going to head west out to the other side towards the carpentry. Oh, I know what I should have done. Hang on a second. Just returning the rented train, otherwise it sits there and it's charging me for it. I do like, as I'm driving on, the splashes of colour. I always get it wrong. Is it Lapatcha? Is it Lapatcha trees? We've got some sort of pink ones and there's some yellow ones dotted around. In amongst all the greenery with the corn and the sugar cane, it just adds that extra little splash of colour. Breaks it all up a little bit. So this side we come to the first of the sort of set forestry plantations. We've got carpentry and we've got another rent train point here. It's interesting though, isn't it, having a logging car on the train, but you can't actually sell lumber off the map, which is an interesting one. So rent train point is just there, carpentry just here, with some storage space. Now this one again, I'm pretty sure, so we come all the way across here. Yeah, this plot can be purchased along with the little bit of forestry here. So as far as adding in more placeables, silos, sell points, production chains, go for it. Yeah, there's even a loading point here, isn't there, for the train? Unless it's just to transport lumber across, but that'd be, I don't know, anyway. Yeah. Heading north. Actually, I can probably show you the lake pond at the farm. Let's open the gates. want both. There we go, just here. So it is a water point as well. It's quite deep. Right, it's back on track. You can see to the right, just off in the distance, a little bit more of the plantation forestry just over there. Crossing the river. The next of the farms. I always put on my notes buy or purchase. I was going to say that needs to be purchased. It doesn't need to be purchased, but you can purchase the land. When you purchase the land, the icons, triggers appear, and then once you own the land, you can remove buildings if you want to. So if you don't want to use it for what it's here for, and you want to put something else on, you absolutely can. So, horse ranch. Now this one, when you come onto your new on Farm Manager or start from scratch, all the buildings are still here, and this is where our truck lorry that's part of our inventory is here, with a Load King Super B set up behind it. So that's where it is. It's tucked away up here. This plot of land we've driven up here to here. So this one here, plot 50, 47,488. Do that and that. We get a sleep trigger just there. Pasture for horses, this one's 10, just in there. Barn and barn over there. Neither of those got a workshop trigger. What I would say though is if you do come onto here and you do sell those buildings, both of them, because that's got a pit and this has got the basement underneath it, you are left with two big holes that might need landscaping. So that's just something to be aware of if you do that. As far as I can tell, that's not a silo. There's no in or out. I think it's just part of the building to make it all look nice. So that's the horse ranch. Actually, I will show you when I said about removing. If I go to there and sell the horse pasture for 10,000. As you can see, all the fences and gates go, as does the what's the word for it? Gateway at the entrance. So it removes the kind of look of it being a horse ranch, which then leaves you open to do whatever you want with it. But I doubt you can just leave it as it is. At your discretion. Continuing north, we come to the main road that heads east-west, west-east, whichever way you look at it, across the top third of the map, where most of the sell points production chains are. We've got our animal dealer just here on the right. On the right here we've got our dairy production chain, and behind that the biomass heating plant sell point. We come a little bit further past there. We've got Bales, Mr. Bales, which is a sell point for bale type related things, and then here we've got this is Bales Mr. Cotton. This is a spinnery, so we can purchase this, and this is a separate spinnery for wool and cotton if you want to do it up here. So bale sales and then spinnery, but you might get a contract for cotton and it may have it here for you to sell them at Mr. Bales Cotton potentially until you buy it. And then next door to that we've got a carpentry. As I said, I did check this with platinum expansion on, and it's a standard did I say carpentry? Sawmill. It's a standard sawmill, lumber in, planks out with wood chips as a byproduct. But again, all of these plots can be purchased, so we're up here at the moment, so they can all be purchased. So as far as adding in extra things, like here you might want to put log holders or, you know, anything you like. So now we're heading east again. So into the town. To our right, we've got the restaurant sale point. To our left, we've got a farmer's market. To our left, we've got a bakery. As we turn the corner, to our left again, we've got a spinnery. So we've got 2 spinneries. A little bit further along, we've got tailors on the right. Just there. We've got grape processing unit just over there. As we come a bit further down, we've got pizzeria over there. We've got gas station across the way. Behind the gas station, we do have a workshop. So if you want to get your work done at the gas station workshop, you can. The next that, fast food restaurant and supermarket. There you go. Loud animals. Football pitch. If you want to have a bit of a kickabout with your mates. Jumpers for goalposts and all that kind of thing. And we come to the vehicle store. Actually, what I'm going to do, vehicle store, the trigger there for vehicle menu is there, workshop trigger here, so we've got a workshop right next door at the gas station, but there's also a workshop trigger here, and this is where your pickup is. So the pickup's been in for repair, also blue, like I say, New Holland Farm, so we can grab our pickup from here, which is part of your inventory. It is in here. This is the reset point on the map as well, so if you need to reset anything, it will reset back here to the vehicle shop. We continue east. It was one of those weird things actually, I didn't say when I got down to the bottom, I just said railroad transfer silo. The transfer silo for the train, it is down as Grain West. It's another one of those weird ones because it's on the eastern side of the map. However, it could be west of somewhere. I suppose that's the way you've got to look at it, isn't it? It could be Grain West because there's something else further out the other way. To our left, grain mill, which is now to our right, oil mill, cereal factory, and sugar mill, all here. Again, all these plots can be purchased, so you can add more onto them. Going back along, and turning down here, we've got lime station. Just there. If the lime quarry down the bottom is not your thing, if you don't want to be doing that, you can just come buy your lime from here. And then we've got warehouse. This is a sell point. I say the main sell point on the map. We're right at the bottom. Right, let's go back up. So we've got cooperative train and the grain mill for obviously wheat and barley, but warehouse, as we go down, warehouse appears a fair bit as we go down. So one of the main sell points. Once you start buying up production chains, they often cease to be sell points. They still can be for contracts, even once you own them, they still can be. So from here, we'll head south. So the last of the farms that can be purchased, the animal type we haven't had yet, is the pigs. The pig farm is just here. And as you've seen, as we've gone around, the farms aren't very expensive. Each one of them is nice and flat, with plenty of room for adding stuff in. So if you decide you want to go down the pig farm route, for putting in silos and that kind of stuff, it's no problem at all. So if we come back up to the map, we went across the top, round the town, out to here, took in all these. We've come down and we're now at this point here. Plot 49, 65,439. Do that and that. Our triggers appear for our pigs. I think this is 30. 30 pigs, again requires water. These buildings can all be sold, as can the pen. So you can leave this all open. If you sell the pen, the fences do go as well. But I said if you want to do pigs and you want to do the ones that are here, you then might want to get rid of that and put in a silo and some other bits. Like I said, I like the fact that each of these is nice and flat already. It doesn't require a lot of extra landscaping. Not that I mind doing landscaping, but for some people it's one of those things they don't like doing. They just want it nice and simple. In you go, bish bash bosh, job done. So, come back to our map. We started off at the main farm here, did that, out to there, up here, across the top, back down again. There's nothing in the middle, There's a bridge across there. There's no sell points. There's no other farms or anything to buy. Finishing at the pig farm there. If we go back down, it will take us around to the transfer silo, and we can head back across. Actually, let me just double check plot 7. I don't think there's anything on there. I haven't got enough to buy it, actually. I'm pretty sure there's just a barn on that. You know what we'll do? Let's get the drone up. So from here, we're going across this direction, isn't it? Let's have a look and see what buildings are on that plot. Yeah, I'm sure it's just a shed, yeah. Old barn on there. But you still can buy the plot of land, and I'm pretty sure you can remove the shed. And again, nice flat area. So a placeables point with a little pond next to it as well. And that's the map. That's Agroland by AGROCAIPIRA. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.